Okay, live again from my unfinished office. What we're going to go over here is an intelligently automated email system. So this is going to be 3 for 1. It's going to give you categorization for your emails and response templates based off of past send emails and your past inbox. And then it's going to generate and then there's also going to be a automation that automatically updates that knowledge base. And then finally the response generator. So it's going to reference those documents and it's going to create on a time trigger drafts. So then all you have to go in and click send on the drafts, or obviously it's not always going to be perfect. Sometimes you have to touch it up a little bit, but you're not reinventing the wheel every time. So it's going to be 3 for 1. You're going to get these 3 automations. The reason that it's 3 separate automations is because they're ran on different time triggers. The first one is just an overall scoping, and then the two other ones are on different time triggers. And I'll have this attached, this Notion document that has the links to the workflows, sample pages. Your pages will be written in here. Canva link for the overall, this is how I like to view it, on a canvas, the overall system with links back to your documents, so you know along the way where everything is happening. And then you can go in from here and edit that. If you don't think this reference document is great, you can go in, these are the reference documents, click on here, it'll lead you right to it, edit it, or you can check out the automations from here, and these are all linked to the automation. But this gives you the overall view, because this is ends up, since it's 3 in 1, it's a human in the loop flow, so you'll be here. And then these will just again be off of sent emails. It's context for your response generator, because without context, AI it's not going to know how to respond, and obviously we want to continually update that. So now I'll get into it. We'll walk through the flows, and at the end you'll see responses that are generated for my current business, which is a catering, food truck and catering company. I'm moving out of that, but that's current business, and I have more history in there than my new business that's just starting. So we'll go into that, and we're running from that. So this is the first one that we are starting on. This is a custom Gmail node that I made. So this just, it goes through 1 month, send emails. So this is to get context for send emails. I'm going to run it. I'll talk about it while it's running. And then this, I already did this, but I went through and starred, and I have a note here. 50, you can go 50 to 100 emails that are good context, like what your business or personally, what you're answering, like what kind of emails that you want to focus on, because obviously we get some junk that'll all be categorized as no response necessary. So star these emails so it's good context you can go through, just so then the Gmail reader's not going through your entire inbox, because that takes forever. And then it'll just go through past sent emails as well. So as it's working, this is the brand DNA document. My last video and workflow created this, so I'm not going to go through that again, but it's going through my brand DNA document where I already have my voice and everything. So it's referencing that along with the send emails, so it has even more context to draw from. And obviously this is like concise context. I guess the send emails is pretty concise, but the inbox sometimes is not. So it's going to go through, this long prompt, you can check that out. That is to generate a categories, so 6 categories that your email will go through, and then response templates for each category. And then it's going to write it to Notion. And then then we have the knowledge base that's created here. I have this prompt at the end that I'm automatically including to what the AI generated. Again, long prompt in here, but just to make sure not to make up anything, pretty much. Like, put human input needed if it's specifics that the AI won't have context to, because it's a completely new scenario. So yeah, it writes those two reports, and then we will see them here. So this is blank before, and yeah, so these are in here. I like to write in Notion because you'll know exactly where it is. You could do this with Google too, like Google Forms or Google Docs or Google Sheets. So this is the responses and the categories. I like to keep this separate from the knowledge base, which is kind of like tone, style guides. And this is more just like, this is how you're going to respond. You'll see we have placeholders. That's because we're going to, again, reference these templates with another AI automation. And we don't want it just to, take a reply and send it. We want it to know around like what you think it needs, what it thinks it needs, and then have the freedom to manipulate that a bit to send the most accurate reply. So there'll be 6 categories. I'm not going to scroll through all of them, and then 10 sample emails per category. When you make this, you can go through and get it. This got us pretty good with the stock guide. We always use this emoji. Got our voice pretty well. But yeah, you can go through, edit anything you want. If you have templates that you already have, you can go through, put them in here. We'll open up the knowledge base that was written in here, and so this will have the categories and just patterns, impacts, just so it kind of knows what's going on. Took this a lot from the sent emails. Yeah, so again, another reference document. Then you could edit this however you want for your business after most of the heavy lifting is done. It has the formatting and the structure and all of that. So now we're going to go through the main responder. So this responder node, it starts with an unread email, and this is, I was going to run it on like a time trigger so it can stack up 10 emails at a time and go. You could always run it just as emails come in. And then you have to go through, so these categories for the router node, routing name, you're always going to want to choose email bodies here. That's the context that's going to take in. And then the route name will be the categories generated in that category report that we had just looked at. So you're going to want to take those, and then under the category you'll see a small explanation of what that is. You can put that in the AI condition. So right now we have to manually input those, but again, this is only a one-time thing, putting them in, and then you're good to go. Out of each node, it'll each connect to a different sender node, like a reply writer. This is no response needed. That doesn't need to be connected to anything because we're not sending a response. So this filter node is going to filter out, there's one for each. It's going to filter out if there's no emails that belong in that category. So if there's no emails in that category, we don't want it to go through the AI writer. But at all times, we have to have this available just in case it is in that category. So again, this will go through and just filter out if there's 0 responses. If there are responses, it's going to send it through. It's going to send it to the AI writer. Then we have this duplicate node here. We have this to match how many responses are coming through. And what it is duplicating is up here, the knowledge base and the response templates that we created. So again, it's using those as for context, because context is key with the AI. So it's duplicating them so we can have one copy for it to read for each email that's coming through. And then it has a prompt here. It's taking into consideration the email, the body of the email, and then also, again, the response list, the knowledge base. So it has all the context. It's writing the email, and it is writing right here to our Gmail reply node generator. So that's going to draft up the replies. I forgot to run this. That is connected to the filter node, so we can get all of what we need through thread ID, recipient email, body text. So you'll see one for each. So I have one for each category here, other than no response needed. So it'll pass through all of that information and write the email based off of what is coming through. So this is running now, and we'll go over. So my emails that I sent in. Oh yeah, that. Okay. So I sent just some test emails because the criteria I had was run through the last 2 hours, and we haven't gotten an email. So we can see some drafts coming through, and let's see. So I sent one. So we're currently booked. It has human input needed because it doesn't know if we're booked or not. So that's good. And then if we were booked, we could delete all this and say thanks. If not, that's perfect send. Just say we are currently available, send it through. So again, this is helping so we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. It's not going to be perfect every email, but there's just so much less friction once you have that. Let's look at the other one. So again, a couple human inputs needed. It's telling you just, okay, where you need to put stuff in. We're going to set payment. So I could add this then. The knowledge base should catch this when we update it. Credit card, whatever. But again, just drafting it up for an easy reply. And then, thanks for the service. We appreciate your service. That was, I guess, a no reply needed. And we could go in here and check. Cat of the router node. That was selected. So that was a no response needed. General information, customer support, event inquiry. So it nailed those and then referred to the response templates for each of those. Okay, and then this knowledge base updater. So I'm not going to run this now because I had just run it on my send emails. So it's not going to go right now. But this here, so I have just 1 week trigger whenever business needs. Max results 50. You don't want to overload it. So what this is going to do is going to go through your emails, and it's going to reference your knowledge base and then say, okay, is this in the knowledge base? If it's not in the knowledge base, then the AI is going to take it through and it's going to write it to the page. So it's going to take any context from your send emails and say, this is knowledge base material. It's going to reference your knowledge base that you already have, and then it's going to send it through if it's different from what's in your knowledge base, and it's going to write it to your knowledge base. I don't have anything updating categories and responses right now because I feel like categories are kind of set. You don't have new categories popping up. So it's just the knowledge base criteria that would be updated. So that'll, again, run on a periodic trigger, whatever you want to update that knowledge base. So when you're responding to emails, you're getting more accurate when you have these, different send emails going out. That's the full flow. That was a little bit long, but again, it'll be here, all of the sample documents and whatnot. So, hope that was helpful.